Can you think of anything where there's a really compelling story where technology really helped the patient or a patient population in a really meaningful way that you guys are aware of?
Well, there's lots of things, and there's lots of ways to answer that question. I think one is, I just think the power of data today and the accessibility of data. And you could say with AI and machine learning and all the modeling that we're able to do, the ability to pinpoint the right group to go after. And this is not, I mean, there is a dollar thing there too, because you're trying to help the customer identify where they have high spend and where they can reduce that spend. But I think that our providers are provider first. Like, let me find those sick folks and let me make sure that we're engaging those sick folks where they are at and how we can get things going. And it could be, again, as easy as we have a bunch of claims data come through and we're able to identify based off different risk factors, like who has not come in for an annual physical, who has not had certain things. You'd be surprised. Like, I mean, that's some of the lowest hanging fruit that you can do and have a bunch of positive energy on. But I think also, if you look at like the ability to turn on wearables, the ability to turn on other things where we have customers, it's really interesting. You got to think about our customers. If you go, this is going to be very broad. And if our ops team or our sales team hears this, they're probably going to hate it. But from a most broad piece, I would say, if you look on the West Coast, you have a lot of technology organizations who ROI is very important to them, but more that they're providing the benefits, great benefits and great opportunities for the people that are working for them.
Yeah.
You kind of go to the middle of the US, kind of in the heartland, and that's a lot of manufacturing. And really ROIs is probably the most important thing, because they want to make sure that they can save money so that they can be there tomorrow for the people they're supporting, because their margins are small and they're getting hit with a bunch of stuff. And then you have this group, like maybe in the Northeast, it's more financial, that looks a little bit like both. A financial company is going to be very concerned about return on investment and what they're doing and their ability to control their healthcare dollar because spend is going up. But at the same time, a lot of those financial places have high net worth folks who are trying lots of new things, again, with wearables and other things. They're going out and they're getting other blood work. And so I think for us, we partner with Epic, having all that data come back through Epic and having us to be able to identify. This is a story. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. We had a gentleman that worked for us for a while, and he was training for a marathon or a trail marathon. He lived in Utah, or not Utah, but it doesn't matter where he lived. I think he lived in Utah. Anyway, he was out running one day, finished his run, and he had been syncing his watch. And he got a call from one of our providers, and they're like, "Hey, I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 days, middle of the day, you're having a high heart rate," and not thinking that this guy was out for a run, but more like, is something going on? And so I do think that's the power of data, bringing stuff up front to the provider and letting the provider have that engagement. And then that kind of circle of trust that, hey, there is somebody on the backside looking out after me, and they are trying to make sure that I'm healthy.